All right, this is recording 775, listen next 775. So this is a continuation of the last recording. So again, you can find me at ChristinaStacia918.com. So there's more to see here. So continuing on, on the 210. So again, the 210 links again to 310. And also someone reminded me, my brain gets blank. There's like so much that I know and so much connection. I can't remember it all at once. And then Jean will conveniently like shock my short-term memory. She literally like blanks my brain. Like she like uses artificial intelligence to blank my brain, and she takes advantage of the fact that she pre-planned that I'm 56 now. So, to make it look natural, everything Jean does, she tries to make look natural. So then she can just call me crazy and she gets the hell away with everything. But literally, no, she's like zaps like my short-term memory. But anyway, so my favorite cake has always been German chocolate cake. So I wanted to bring that up too. So, so you see where that goes to, everything that I just decoded in the last recording, which is a continuation of this. So you always want to look up on highways. Okay. So anyways, I'm like, well, let me go because I went and decoded all the 279 highways. You can tell just by all combinations of 279, 792, that Jean Roberts is a stalker. And when she formed the Charles Manson occult, as I decoded, she just stepped in her instruction footsteps as she was led, and then she just took over. So the Charles Manson occult is a modern form of her occult that's hidden underneath everything, including the Masons, all throughout history. So anyway, you can tell just by studying those highways, Jean Roberts is a stalker. She's been using ice on people since the 70s. She stole it when she did the Charles Manson murders. You got to see all my other podcasts. So anyway, so you know everything about her because I've pressed charges against her for it. Okay. So now anyway, so I know to look up the interstates. Okay. So I only looked up one and went right down a rabbit hole that led right back to Jean Roberts, Charles Manson again. But you probably want to look at all the highways and then you'll see it's going to all be the same way. So Interstate 210, I-210, refers primarily to two distinct highways in the United States. The most prominent is the Foothill Freeway in California. So again, with the foot, which is, and then you're going to want to do the Statue of David. So see all my podcasts on the Statue of David, all my decode on that. And then, also, she is the shoe bomber. And then also the F and T, like everything foot related. Okay. And then also, Charles Manson, Zodiac killers, gumshoe, like everything foot related. So the most prominent is the Foothill Freeway in California, which runs through the valleys north and east of Los Angeles. So again, no coincidence. The other is a bypass route located in Lake Charles, Louisiana. So numerous states, and then so you have Lake Charles, so you see how she's using Charles there. Numerous states also have highways numbered 210 that are not a part of the interstate system. So anyway, so I instantly see, this is Jean Roberts and her Manson occult. So I go to Lake Charles and now I want to see, the zip codes because I want to see what's in the zip codes. So Lake Charles, Louisiana is served by several zip codes, including 70601, 70602, and you know 602 is the area code in Phoenix, okay, which was my area code growing up. Now they're 480, and I think they have a third one now. 70605, 606, 607, 609, 615, 616, and 629. So you can see there's the 729. You can see the 602. You can see the 607. And you can see the 609. So this again would be references 1969. So if I take the area code 91311 of Santa Susana Pass, which is where Charles Manson, one of Charles Manson's hideouts is located, which I believe is, oh my God, I've trailed him everywhere, which I believe is Spawn Ranch. So anyway, so if you take 91311 and then you take 70609, so I'm picking the 1969 one, that comes out to 20702. So again, you can see the 22, you can see the 729, you see the 22, 27, you see the 11, and in that is also my birthday, 11/13/71, and you see Charles Manson also connects to her hideout at Chatsworth Canyon, and then you see 32 minus 21 is 11, and that's BC, and then that's AD. So that is for the rest of that. Okay, so now let me see here. I want to switch here. This will be a quick one. So I'm changing subject. Same thing. I'm decoding Jean Roberts' crimes throughout history and her stalking of me. So, and then which all leads to her terror plots, which I decode. So this is more of that. So remember I told you in earlier podcasts, when I was making reports against her, and I was talking about how she puts stuff in my brains and she creates artificial dreams in my brain. And I call the artificial dreams, I call them delta waves, because it's not you having a real dream. She's actually putting that technology in your brain. It's AI. Okay, so you have regular real dreams, and then delta waves are fake dreams. That's her messing with your brain with AI. So anyway, I told you when I was little, I was at my grandma Stacia's house, and I went over there, and it was Christmas time. I was really little. I had to be under 5 years old. I was really, really little. And I was really excited about Christmas. And I went to sleep, and I woke up, and it feels like when I look back in time, it feels like I was really awake. Like I was really seeing this. Like I wasn't dreaming, like I was really seeing this, which is also possible if you go back to my podcast where I'm talking about how she can project what's in your, okay, so your eyes are like a projection tool, okay? So the way the eyesight works, so she can project, let me give you the best example I can give you. If you look at the Sega logo, it's an eye, and then the word Sega is written on the eye, like on the eyeball. Okay, so she can turn that Sega logo into anything, like a cartoon, like a video, like an image, like anything. Okay, so she can take that. So literally my eyes can be open. I'm conscious, I'm awake. So literally I can see like on my eye. And here's the even weirder part is when I close my eyes to try to make it go away, I still see it like as if I'm seeing through my eyelids. Okay. And it's like reflecting like on my eyelids. And then also, I see it where she reflects it wherever my eyes are looking. So like if I'm looking at any object that I'm looking at, whatever she's putting, it reflects on that. So she was doing that to me really bad when I lived in Oklahoma City. I couldn't fall asleep. I couldn't do anything because she kept putting these creepy ass freaking cartoons on layered over my eyeballs, and I would see them on the couch, like, cause I was sleeping on the couch and I'd like face the couch cushion, and then I'd see all these creepy images on the couch cushion, and then I'm like trying to close my eyes and it's like still there. And I always knew when she was getting ready to do it because she needed a lot of electrical power. So I literally could feel the electrical surge in the house, and they were flipping some switch or doing something outside the apartment complex that they would flip something, and I could literally feel like the room filling up with like static electricity. So then my brain is receiving all that electricity, and the more electrical power in my brain, she has all the power to do all of that kind of stuff. So right now she still does it, but it's not like that with I can see in my brain, but I'm talking about like on my eyeball or reflecting on the wall, or whatever I'm looking at. But it takes a lot of electrical power. Sometimes my brain, I'd be going to sleep and it would be all night long. She would put in slideshows. And that's how I got to see like everything that's going on, like underground, like it would go all night long. I could see all kinds of stuff, and I couldn't like make it go away no matter what I did. So anyway, so back to me when I was little, it really feels like I wasn't dreaming. It really feels like I was awake looking out the window. But then maybe I really was awake looking out the window, and that's a technology she used, unless I was dreaming. I don't know. I just remember this happening. So anyway, I looked out the window into the sky, and I saw a cartoon of Santa Claus and his reindeer in the sky, just like zooming past in the sky. And I was like, oh my God, that's Santa. And I was freaking out. It's Santa Claus. It's Santa Claus. And he was like really there, and I was stunned looking at him in the sky. He was just like going by in his sleigh. So anyway, I knew when I was in Oklahoma City and I was going back to that memory of my childhood, like going back, decoding it, I could see what she was doing is this is bad. This is like gnarly. This is like not gnarly, like cool, like the slang, like this is bad, like bad. And so it wasn't somebody just being cute. What it was, it was Gene Roberts using that technology, and that was a foresign of the four horsemen of the apocalypse is what it was. I decoded the whole thing out. Okay. So she's using me as a child. Like when I'm like way back a long time ago, I'm supposed to look back in time, and I'm looking back, and she's using Santa Claus as a stand-in for the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And I'm like, I look back in time and I see that's what she's doing. And then it connects into Nostradamus, and it's really, really, really freaking creepy. Now, I don't like Santa Claus, but that's custom, and that's custom here in the United States. I mean, my grandkids love Santa Claus. Everybody loves Santa Claus. So, I mean, that's just, that's tradition. And I would never push that on anybody else. And it's just because of my decoding and stuff. He freaking freaks me out. So anyway, but I'm not going to break tradition for anybody just because of like I wouldn't do that to my kids, my grandchildren, or anything, like because of some creepo stalking me and using ice on me and all. I wouldn't do that. But anyway, but I don't believe in like personally, like, religiously, like I think it's pagan. I don't believe in it. But anyway, I wouldn't take that from my family. Okay. I wouldn't do that. But anyway, so going back to this Santa Claus thing, so Nostradamus has a scroll, okay, And you know what a scroll is, like the long paper that rolls up at the top and the bottom. And you know how Santa Claus has a naughty or nice list? Okay, so anyway, naughty or nice, there's stuff hidden inside naughty or nice. But my nickname is in there, naughty or nice. Look at the first two letters of naughty, and then look at the first two letters of nice. That's my nickname. That's my childhood nickname. So anyway, inside this is Lewis Carroll, A Christmas Carol. Also inside this is Ghost. And then also inside this is Scorpio. And then also Flying Cross is in this. That is something else that she also used when she did, Jean Jernigan Roberts did the World Trade Center attack. I'm continuing here, like my speech is getting interrupted by Jean and her occult and blah, 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 blah. Like when I talk, she's interrupting my brain and it's just a bunch of freaking John Wayne Gacy. Blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, she's out white peopling in the public. I mean, they're just freaking insane. And I'm the one, I'm not crazy. This is literally really happening. I'm just letting you know. She puts wacko stuff in my brain. She stalks me. I'm going to freaking make reports against her. So it's not like the technology is not real. I mean, you can't say that this technology doesn't exist. You can go talk to anyone. If you don't want to believe that it's real because it's too much to consume, that's fine. Everybody can consume this. I'm making reports to the CIA. So anyway, so the Flying Cross, so probably also her using Santa Claus flying in the sky is also a sign of her pre-planning to do 9/11. So then also this connects into Tyre, Tyre, and Lebanon. I have a note to myself to research Lebanon again. Tyre. I've already decoded a lot, but there's a lot more there. So she's using Tyre a lot in her Charles Manson Zodiac ciphers because they keep like decoding. And it's like so much because she's using history and present. She likes to overlap everything like a slinky. And so it just keeps going in a circle, and winding. Okay. And so anyway, that would also connect to the tires and rims that she ripped off in Slidell. So let me see what else here. What is this one? Okay, so here's more. So back to The Hobbit, okay? So revisiting The Hobbit again. I loved The Hobbit when I was little. She used that also. She used The Hobbit, J.R. Tolkien, or however you say his name. And you know her initials are JJR. And then she used token, like token is in money, but like toke, like Charles Manson, like hippie. So in 1976, the out came on TV was a Christmas TV special called The Hobbit. And I was living in the first house in Globe, which I would have been in first grade. And I freaking fell in love with The Hobbit. I fell in love with it. But anyway, so I'm like, I decoded a whole bunch out of The Hobbit, how she used The Hobbit in my life, okay? So you have to see all podcasts. There's a whole bunch of demonic ciphers that she did with The Hobbit. In her pre-planning to the World Trade Center attack, her stalking me, all of her other terrorism, like, there's a whole bunch of it, okay? So anyway, I went back to go visit The Hobbit again, to research again, and I saw that the author came out with a book called The Two Towers. So Jean also used that too, and that came out in 1954. So if you take 1976 minus 1954, that's 22. If you take 1971 minus 1954, that's 17, that's Q, and then that's FA, and then that's Fabergé egg. If you take 1954 minus 1937, that's 17Q, and that's FA, and 13 minus 7 is 6. If you take 34, that's DC. If you take 34 plus 22, that's 56, that's 11. Then 5, 6, 7 is EFG. And someone goes, well, she's getting off on her numbers 5 or 6. So she does that with my house address there too. Like whether I was on 11s or 12. I know all the numbers. I know how you use all the numbers. They're interchangeably. And then somebody said, if you're arguing with her, then we know that you're the criminal terrorist perp. So I don't know who you're putting on Act Stupid skit for. So she plans for whatever my memory is. She plans an outlet for that. So I know all lanes. So anyway, so like it's all the same thing. So 1954 minus 1912, 42 is Gene Roberts was linking wars. Now, Gene is the leader of Charles Manson. Charles Manson is a demonic, a satanic, demonic hippie occult. Okay. So she today she acts like she's Mrs. You guys know she's Mrs. Military and she's, but she, you guys know she acts like she's Mrs. Military and she should be fawned over and worshipped. No, she committed stolen valor. She's using all history and all time to commit terrorism with, because she's trying to supersede what God has in the Bible. So she's portraying herself or playing herself as God is what she's doing. She doesn't want anything on God's time. She wants to do it on her time because she's satanic. She is a Satanist. So I'm decoding all of her terror plots. So she uses everything everywhere. So anyway, so 42, Gene links wars. The stock market crashed to 2. The World Trade Center crashed to 2. But really, as you know, there were 3 stock market crashes. And 1376 goes to Royal Navy. And then you also have M16 in there. And 1976 is standard U.S. military service rifle. Okay, so now I'm I know to go look up M16s, the guns, okay? So I wanted to know about the original name of M16. M16 is the name for the intelligence unit. It's like this, the CIA of England. Their names are M16. I wanted to know what their original names were back then. Is this a new name, M16, or what is it? So and it's also a gun. So in 1976, a standard U.S. military service rifle was the Colt M16A1. So you see right there, so she pre-plans for me to move. She's stalking my family. Okay, so we're going from Globe 1976, and then she routes us. She controls all of our addresses, and then eventually she has us living on Pennington and Colt in Chandler, Arizona, when I am in 6th grade. So then you can see she's the 911 in there, the 911 in there, and then the A1, she's using the American Airlines, which are United Airlines is probably in here too. I have to do all the number switching to see it. Well, the 6 minus 1, the 5, the upside down V, or flip the V or curve the V, which has been replaced, the M14, to become the primary weapon for Army and Marine personnel following the Vietnam War. It was a 5.56 mm automatic rifle featuring a 30-round magazine, and again, 30 round and then magazine. So chrome-plated. Stop your freaking crap talking to my brain. All they do is make up dumbass freaking lies. I'm literally making reports against them. So everything that goes around magazine, so then 30 round, so chrome plated chamber and a forward assist. So look what she does here with the gun, a chrome plated chamber and a forward assist. So she's being syrupy, sappy with this gun, saying she's controlling my life, but she's trying to be accusatory of me as a child when she abused me as a child. When the forward assist was you abusing me with a pencil at 2 months old, and then you iced me and my family. Like, you are using artificial intelligence on us, and you abused me as a child and tried to flip it around as your excuse for getting away with doing the World Trade Center attack. So anyway, mechanism added to resolve earlier jamming issues. While popularly calling M16 short for Military Intelligence Section 6, the name M16 was a cover designation adopted during World War II. She's probably going to say that too. She's probably going to clip stitch that and say, oh, this is a cover up, it's military. Just literally taking from this because it's all pre-planned. So like cover goes to jacket. Okay, so adopted during World War II, its formal name became the Secret Intelligence Service, SIS, around 1920. So, I did not know this. I know SIS because I figured out what she did. Stop controlling my speech. Remember what I told you when I lived in Oklahoma City? What she was doing when I was on my road trip from Texas into Oklahoma City, and she was just totally just ugh. And so, but that's her thing, that's her fetish. So, and you know what I'm saying, SIS. And so I'm like, does General Schwarzkopf even realize what Jean is doing there? She's literally taking cis code and she's turning it into Smutville, and she's being like applauded for it by Epstein and Sandusky and all her other little nasty freak show. Like, she's freaking nasty. So I'm pissed that she's tearing up historical crypt cipher. And these crypt ciphers are everywhere. Like Mexico's is freaking fascinating. Their cis code is like, it's super, super, super complicated. But, like, she's taking cryptology from military and she's using it for smut and terrorism and everything else. And then when I decode it and I'm like, no, that is Gene Robertson or Manson occult, then she turns around and blames the military. So I'm like getting pissed that she did that to the Secret Service. She's using cis code. So anyway, so what I didn't know is that there's cis code in England. So I was like, well, there's something new that I learned that's pretty cool. Now, anyway, around 1920, and then look, there's 210 in your house number there too, 210. I lived on, get this, I already decoded this, but this goes to this too. When I lived in Chicago, when my dad was stationed at Great Lakes Naval Base, my address was 1920 Lexington Avenue. So anyway, another thing that she used was, I'm like, this lady is freaking insane, Jean Jernigan Roberts. And if you go confront her, she'll be like, oh, the rappers did not do this. You iced the crap out of freaking rappers. And then they find out later on that you iced them. And then you're like, well, just go along with, no. So, okay, so back to, remember the Betty bought a bat of butter and all of that? Okay, so I know that parts of Square Dance Rap by Sir Mix-a-Lot are written around my childhood in Glow because she wants to be like an annoyer to me, which I fell in love with this song. It was the cutest song in the freaking world. It didn't annoy me. I thought it was freaking funny when it came out. And I didn't realize I was being stalked either. But I look back and I'm like, the song is still cute as heck to me. But in grade school at East Globe Elementary, the bane of my existence was having to do square dancing. Like we would have to do this. Like our teacher would like get us all like, and I would just be like, oh my God, I don't want to do. Like, I just wanted to just, like, melt into the freaking floor. Like, I did not want to do that. Like, I hated it. I hated it. So anyway, it's supposed to be like an annoying. She wants to do everything that annoys me. She wants to destroy everything I love, and everything is annoying. So she used parts of this song. There's parts of the lyrics and stuff that I know in the song that also go to my childhood in grade school at East Globe, and it's supposed to be because I'm supposed to look back and see. She probably is like wants me to look back and go, look what I did to the rappers, is probably what she wants, what she's trying. And I'm like, no, I'm not stupid, bitch. People just don't turn over their lives, their legacies, their legends to some freaking Ku Klux Klan freaking cuckoo. You're messing with people is what you're doing. So anyway, okay, so Sir Mix-a-Lot also came out with, I couldn't believe this. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about this song too. Buttermilk Biscuits. So, so that would go also to the 70s, at East Globe with the Betty Bought a Bat of Butter. She's flushing my face right now. That's because Jean lives off of her lies and her smut is what she's doing. She's being smutty, and she's doing it to you, so you go, Jean is being smutty. She's like, just freaking ignore Jean. Okay, you're making reports to normal, decent people. These are sick, psychotic people that are stalking me, and they're desperate for sick, psychotic attention when they really just need to be arrested, all of them. So anyway, that is the end of this recording.